Hello, corporate badasses. How's it going? I am in Austin, Texas, getting ready to speak at the Women's Leadership Forum inside of Forrester Consulting's B2B North America conference. And I'm getting ready to head on over there in about an hour. But one of the things I'm going to talk about when I present today is this idea of owning your authentic power. And I think that's the perfect training inside of Executive Reboot for trusting in your ability. I thought, wow, everything I'm about to talk about is exactly what each one of you need to hear today. So, you know that I call you corporate badasses, and I want you to know that's because you absolutely are. And when we think about trusting in our ability to lead at an executive level, there are some parts of our training up until this point, our expertise that have to be shed, right? So, I'm talking about stopping doing what you're good at. So, in module one, I talk in great detail about exactly what that means and the difference between being a manager and being an executive leader. So definitely go back and take a look at that. But I really want to, for today's purposes, I want you to think about what that means to actually stop doing what you're good at. And what's going to come up for you is a heck of a lot of fear, a lot of fear. And that's why everything about trusting in your ability has been about what are you going to do instead? Because we have to be able to put our energy and attention into something else. I met a woman in LA this past, like just 2 days ago, and she was talking to our group and sharing her fear about leaving her corporate job to start a new career path. And she was saying that promotions come very easy for her, that money comes very easy for her. And she was saying this as if it was a problem, of course, because she is working in a situation that she doesn't like, right? She feels stuck, she feels upset, she wants something different, and she's in the middle of making this transition. And I took a minute to connect with her and I told her that what you're forgetting is the reason that you get promotions and the reason that money comes easily for you and they keep throwing more money at you is because you're worth it, because they see your value. And the only reason that they see your value is because of what you're bringing to the table. You did that. And so the reason why I share this story with you is because I want you to remember as you transition from being seen as an expert in your field into whatever this leadership role looks like for you, you created that expertise. When you first started your career, you didn't know what you were doing, right? You had to start out. And then now that you're 35, 40, 45 years old or more, now you're scared, right? Because you're not 20 years old again. You're not willing to jump off the diving board. You feel like there's more at stake, there's more financial risk. But what I'm here to remind you of is that the same person that created all of this success in your career up until this point is the same corporate badass that's going to create all of your success as an executive leader. Listen to me when I call you a corporate badass. It matters. It matters. I just sent a little placard for all of the leadership table corporate badasses to put on their desk because I want you to be reminded every single day that you are, in fact, a corporate badass. But we need a reminder. When do we need a reminder? When we step outside of our comfort zone, when we stop relying on what we're good at. Essentially, what you're doing when you step into an executive leadership role is you're creating a new career for yourself. So even if you got promoted to vice president, senior vice president, or even the C suite, but you still feel stuck, just like my friend who I met a couple of days ago, she felt stuck, right? You still feel stuck, and that's legit. But you're going to have to do something different to get to that next level. And I want you to remember that the same person that got to this amount of success, the same woman that got promoted to SVP, even if it doesn't feel completely aligned, even if you don't feel like you have a voice at the table, even if you still want more, you need to pull yourself out of the weeds. You want to be seen more as an executive leader. The same woman that created that success is the one who is going to be successful for the next 20 years of your career. So that is your work. Your work is to remind yourself on the daily of the corporate badassness. And I want you to write it down. When I talk about defining your leadership style, the reason that I do that is so that you understand and feel the confidence that it's already within you. That particular exercise that I share inside of module 1 is based on reflective best self exercise. And basically, what that science says is that if we psychologically, if we believe we've done it in the past, then we can believe that we can do it again in the future. And so your job is to remind yourself, I've already been here. I've already had to learn something new. I've already had to challenge myself. I've already had to raise my hand before I was ready. I've already had to take on a role when I had no business taking it on and learn along the way. But you are resourceful. You are a corporate badass. Inside of the comments for this video, I put a Marianne Williamson quote, which is that we are not afraid of our inadequacy. We are afraid. Let me not butcher the quote here. Let's see exactly what she says. Our deepest fear is not that we are inadequate. Our deepest fear is that we are powerful beyond measure. And I think what happens for a lot of women that I meet is that they are willing to believe that they are a corporate badass. They are willing to raise their hand. And then the fear that creeps in is the fear that I can't sustain this, right? Like almost as if it's a ruse, right? Yeah, I can be powerful beyond measure for like a week. But then I'm just going to get overwhelmed and sucked in and back to my old habits and feel exhausted, because what do we do as women? We take on too much responsibility, right? That's just a given. And so inside of module 1, I'm talking about what are those high performance leadership practices that you can start to set into place so that you can set yourself up for success. What are the boundaries? What's the vision setting that you need to do before you go into a conversation? Engaging inside of executive ahead of time is a great example of how you can start to step into your authentic power, this power beyond imagination that you already have inside you. So my final training, my final note to you for the first part of this exercise and this executive reboot and trusting in your ability is to know and believe beyond a shadow of a doubt that you are a total corporate badass. And if that means saying no to a couple of meetings or delegating some responsibility or having a conversation with your leader about your successor, making yourself essentially replaceable so that you can get into a higher leadership position, knowing that you are going to figure it out. You are resourceful. You've figured it out before, and you're going to figure it out now. You're going to get support, and you're going to make it, and you're going to be successful in that next level of leadership. I'm super excited for you, and I can't wait to see you in the next part of this series, where we're going to start to talk a little bit more, building on this concept of trusting in ourself. All right, take care, everyone. Enjoy the rest of your weekend. I'll see you soon. Bye.